Okay, so here we have a 2005 Ford Mustang 4.0 motor, and just a quick little overview of how the wiring harness will run along the motor here. So that as you're looking, this is the back of the motor. Back here is going to be where the engine harness was cut from the previous person I purchased the motor from. So these right here supply the rest of the car with all the electrical that it could possibly need. So leaving here, there should be 2 or 3 sensors somewhere that stem off this right here, go into the transmission, and so forth. I don't have those. They're attached to the actual wiring harness that's over here on the Mustang itself. Coming back over here, let's trace out this wiring here. So as you see, it comes up, it wraps around. We're going to work our way from the right, wrapping around the motor and going to where it needs to go. So this one right here is going to come up and supply your what are they called? It's going to supply your fuel connectors right down here, your fuel injectors. So these are your fuel injectors right here. So they come up, they start coming around in here. So you got the first one right there, the second one down there, and the third one, if we can see it, down there. Now this specific right here is going to travel and loop around to the oil breather tube right around here. This specific one right here is going to travel inside over the top of the engine manifold, and that's going to be located going to the NOx sensor, which is going to be located directly beneath this, all the way down on the top of the intake manifold. From there, we have an alternator sensor, which is right here, where this little pigtail wire goes to. We already talked about 12. We're still moving on. This one right here, again, goes to the NOx sensor located in there. Down in here, there's another small wire coming from right here, and it wraps in and it connects to that little guy right there. As this harness is on here, it's mounted in several different locations. One big strap right here locks it in place, and it runs right along here. Another part will lock it in place, not there, but right down here you have another little strap, a grounding strap right here, which is where it'll go on the back of the motor. Another spot right here where it interlocks into the engine block, and it comes down, it locks itself right here with this strap, and that's going to supply probably your O2 sensors and stuff, which are where that came from. But we'll keep moving around. We're going to move back around to the front here. Obviously we have all the different wires. We don't have to touch any of these because they should be still connected. Top side right here. So all these right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're not necessarily in that order. That was just how I was counting to kind of reflect of where they're going to go on the motor here. Now there's really no electrical connectors anywhere in this side here. You get your oil filter right there. Sometimes there's an electrical connector nearby for like your oil pressure switch, and that's probably one that's going to be back somewhere back here, but other models are there. Alright, so we're going to come right back around here. We talked about the alternator here. this right here, part of your alternator, is going to wrap around. It's going to go towards your battery to charge your battery. Got your tensioner pulley right here. So this wire right here, we had talked about, and it loops up through here. It travels up, keeps going up right through here. It's kind of hard to see the wire. It's a little faint right there. If I come up top here, you'll see this little blue wire, and in return, that's going to connect right into this wiring harness here. It's kind of hard to see it, but right there you see that blue wire. Alright, so moving on, that wire right here is going to connect right there. I don't remember what that sensor's called. I think it's just a cam. Maybe it's a sensor. I don't remember what the hell it is. I'm not going to sit here and waste your time and mine trying to remember what all this shit is. There's so many of them. But again, that comes up here. And as you see, there's different mounting points. Got one here, two here to try to keep your bracket and everything, your wiring harness in alignment without it getting caught or snagged on shit that it shouldn't be getting caught and snagged on. Alright, so we talked about this part of your harness. Now you're getting into your throttle body. There's a lot of stuff that connects here, so don't worry about that. There is a connector right here, which is why number 14 is there, and that essentially is where that's going to go, right in there. And again, that is going to interconnect with this part of your wiring harness here, running all the way around. So as we come back around this direction here, number 1 is your throttle body sensor. The throttle body sensor is where this is going to attach, either this one or this one. I don't remember which one. I think it's this one. Your other one here is going to go to your mass airflow sensor, which is not attached to it right now. So continuing to push along here, we talked about your engine harness running this direction along your bank number 2 over here. Now we're on bank number 1 in this direction over here. Camera sucks. It's mainly just a cameraman. So it's going to come underneath here. It's going to travel around. And it's going to come in here. Now as you're looking, you're going to have different valves. You get another, you got your valve covers right here. There's a valve cover sensor up here, which is where this is. So this is essentially your valve cover sensor. This one was broken. I replaced it with the new one, stuck it right there. This connector goes right on the top of that. Call it a day. Now you got your, we talked about them earlier. You got 3 on the other side over here. Your fuel injectors, well, your connectors are on here. So you're going to have one. It's kind of hard to see it. I'm going to share with this little capsule. Trash. But you got one right here. You got another one right down here. And you get another one. It's kind of hard to see it. But if you look back there and a little crevice right in there, it drops right down into there. Those are going to be your 3 sensors that are in there. What else we got here? So you're looking at this guy here. Number 10 connects up here. Not really sure exactly what that is. That's essentially where that goes. This one here is going to connect in there. And again, you're going to have different connection spots for your harness to go and drop into. So you got one right here where it'll lock in place. You got another one on the back side over here where it'll lock in place as well. So we talked about your spark plugs. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, these 3 over here are going to supply the second bank. These 3 right here are going to supply the first bank. And they go and they do different things. They supply spark in a specific order. Coming down, as you see, this is my oil filler cap. It's broken, it's busted off. I had to replace the valve cover on that motor over there, put it onto the new motor here. Anytime you do that, you want to replace any and all of your fuel injector, or not your fuel injector, your valve cover gaskets. Moving down here, again, you get different mounting locations for your harness. There's another one right here where it'll just go and drop right into this part of your motor. So you're going to get your power steering pump right in here. You get your AC condenser right here. So there is a sensor right here in your AC. That's where this is going to plug into. Your power steering pump is here, and there's a bunch of other sensors and connectors here. It's probably easier if I show you from underneath the motor, which I'll get to that in just a moment. But I showed you the spark plugs on the other side. Here's the other ones here. You got one here, two here, and your third one right there, right where my middle finger is pointing. As you can see, there was a lot of stuff here that the previous person that I purchased this motor from didn't really give a shit. He just wanted to sell the motor and get it out of the vehicle as quick as possible. So I have to replace a few AC lines, which isn't hard because they're already on the other vehicle. I'm mainly just going to be disconnecting from here and then reconnecting them to this compressor. This was a working motor. Everything worked on it just fine. I shouldn't have any issues when I go to put all this back together. Yeah, it'll be a pain in the ass to get to some of these, but you know what? It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. All right, so let's go talk about a few more of these connectors that are on here. So you have this piece right here, which is going to plug in to the side of your airbox tube that runs from your throttle body right here. And it'll come out, it'll wrap around this way. There should be an airbox somewhere over here on your Mustang, and this is going to plug right into that. Again, one of these is your mass airflow sensor, the other one's your throttle body. So we're taking a look at all this stuff. This harness again mounts right here. Supplies your fuel injector sensors this direction. This plugs in there. You have all these here. Again, this goes right there. Let's go underneath to the back side. Actually, we'll just go underneath here and talk about these other sensors. So you have another sensor down here in the lower part. Sorry for my camera working ship here. It's pretty shitty, I know. So that goes right there. And if I'm not mistaken, this one right here is going to plug right into that. This guy here is going to plug into another area underneath your car. I don't really want to walk out to the other side of the vehicle to do that, but essentially that's where this is going to go. Again, you get different areas where parts of your wiring harness attach. So this specific one attaches right here, and it locks that part of your harness in place. Okay, I'll just show you where this goes. All right, so this connector here, which runs along downside there, comes in. Shit, there we go. Let me focus better. And you got this here. So going over to the actual Mustang over here, move that shit out the way. And you're down under here. It's gonna plug into one of your lines under here. So I'm not gonna get underneath here. Sorry guys, this is not gonna happen. I got too much other shit going on, and also the last thing I'm gonna do is figure out that connector. You guys will figure it out once you trace it and find it. Where else? Where am I left off here? All right, so yeah, you got two sensors under here. You got one that goes there, this one that goes underneath, locks up and mounts in there. Your starter is going to be right inside here. You pull that out to give you access to your flywheel and your flex plate and so forth. I don't see any more sensors under here where stuff goes. Let's go to the back of the motor here again. So you have another connector right here. Some of these are going to be easy to get to, some of them are not, but this one goes in right there. This part right here is just a breather valve vacuum line that goes to your brake booster, which is going to be right on the back of your firewall, right in front of you pretty much as you're sitting. We talked about where these mount. On the inside of here, that's going to be where that knock sensor is, probably like 5 inches in front of my finger, straight down the top of the intake manifold. I can't think of anything else in here that you guys would want to see or what I would need to reference to come back and figure out where stuff goes. Yeah, hope that helps you guys out for doing your 4.0 swap with another 4.0. Now, why did I not go to the 4.6 or the 5.0 or the Coyote motor or anything like that? I'm in the military, fellas. I gotta drive about 150 miles each way to work. I wanted something cheaper on gas. When I retire in 3 years, bet your ass I'll be doing another motor swap to a 4.6 or a 5.0 with this guy. I mean, shit, I picked up this Mustang for $800 with a blown motor. Not a big deal. I don't care. It just takes time to get stuff going and put everything back together. Anyways, I hope this video helps you guys out. Hopefully it'll help me out as I go to put this back together, because once you start, there's no going back once you start disconnecting stuff. So make sure you label stuff appropriately. For instance, here's a throttle body sensor right here. I labeled it number 1. Label your harness over here for your throttle body sensor, number 1. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, you can't go wrong, and so forth. Yep. Thanks, and if you like what you see, by all means, help me out, boost my ratings. If you guys want more videos of the Mustang build, I'll send them up to you. Thanks, have a good day.